Welcome back to GTM. Today I want to talk about the Sunwayfoto produced T3650cm. This is a carbon fiber tripod and it's an extremely high quality tripod. It can go all the way up to 63 inches with the legs fully extended, and if the legs are retracted all the way, it's 20 inches as a minimum height, and then if you pop out the leg position retainers, it can go all the way down to 3 inches low, which is incredible for a tripod that can go this far in each direction. It's incredible, and it's only 4.6 pounds, guys. 4.6 pounds. So at 4.6 pounds, you can afford to throw on a really heavy duty ball head on there. And if it wasn't carbon fiber, I just don't think it would be as strong, and it wouldn't be as versatile of a tripod. I have a few tripods, and actually this company, Sunwayfoto, is the company that I'm most interested in. I have a few of these now from Sunwayfoto. I use them for my filming, I use them for shooting, and I'm going to use them for hunting actually this year. Some of the land that you're watching me walk over, this area right here, is probably going to be a place where I go deer hunting this fall. And so I was just messing around, walking around with the tripod, trying out different positions and thinking about kind of the land and the topography of the area that I'm going to be hunting. And so I tried it out with my 22, just got some positions and got comfortable with the tripod itself. And there's so many different ways to use this tripod. It's very, very versatile, and it's so lightweight it easily attaches onto my backpack, which I'll show you in a little bit. And I found it to be a very trustworthy tripod for my rifles. My rifles tend to be a little bit on the heavy side, especially for hunting, and I need a tripod that has quite a bit of strength. This one has a 55 pound plus, just a little bit over 55 pound weight rating, so it can actually hold 55 pounds extended at that 63 inches, which is incredible. I've been using it for glassing, especially in like NRL 22 when I'm spotting for someone, and if I'm not spotting and I actually need to shoot off a stage with a tripod, this is the tripod I would use in NRL 22. It can hold my heavyweight 22 rifle, and that's because I have the Sunwayfoto EB52 on top of it. Now that is something I already discussed in part 1 of this video, so if you're curious about that ball head specifically, go back and watch part 1 about that very impressive high quality ball head. Now the tripod does not come with a ball head itself. That's something you would purchase separately, but it does have a mounting plate, as you can see here, and so I'm going to go ahead and use the ratcheting release right here. I'm going to pull out on it and then back in, back and forth a little bit, lefty loosen. And then when I get it all loosened up, there is actually a little piece right there. You're going to pull on that and lift up, and that will allow you to take that out. If you want to put a bowl in or some other type of accessory for a base plate, that's something you could do. I actually really like this one. I think I prefer this over most of the other ones I've tried out there because it has that hook in there. And so as soon as you get it back in, you'll notice it's just a little bit loose, and you can pull out like that. But what you need to do is go ahead and ratchet it back down after installing that plate or your bowl or whatever else, just again by using that ratcheting device. Underneath, this is kind of why I like using it. I like to weight things down or throw a bag on there. It's very convenient to keep things dry or out of the mud, or just weigh it down so that it doesn't tip over at times. Very convenient for competition shooting as well. Now, like I said, that these are spring loaded in the retainer right there, and then it can also just pop out like what you see there. And when you pop it out, that allows you to access the next positions there for the leg angle degrees, and the leg angle degrees are 23, 55, and 85 if you go all the way out to the furthest. That's pretty good, guys. Pretty good for leg angles. I found that to be pretty natural for everything that I do and the way I like to use tripods. I haven't found any issues with those angles whatsoever. Now check this out. That is a 1/4 inch thread pitch, and so you can go ahead and throw in one of those Sunwayfoto magic arms. Very, very convenient. And if you didn't want to put it in that position, you can actually use one of the 3/8 adapters down to 1/4 inch and put that in that center portion right there on the stem of the tripod itself. And so that's very convenient. Kind of on the base plate area there's a place to thread in either a 3/8 or a 1/4 inch tool of some sort. I like to use the magic arms from Sunwayfoto because they're very convenient, really strong, and they can hold things like a Kestrel, another camera, a light, pretty much anything you can think of. That's a very convenient place to have one. And so good job to Sunwayfoto for thinking ahead about how people are actually going to use them. Something neat about this is it's built so well, tolerances are so tight that when you tighten up those legs, they're weatherproof. No water, sand, or dust is going to get in there, and it needs an air relief valve at the top. And so when you close them up and retract them, the air escapes out the top of that. So very, very cool. I just wanted to show you I'm 6'5", and so this is what it's like for me to meet up with my rifle on top of the EB52 ball head and the Sunwayfoto tripod here, and it's very impressive, guys. I actually have to lower it down just a little bit because it gets so tall, and the fact that it can also be so compact is really impressive. Here's me shooting a Savage 308 at a little over 1,000 yards in a sitting position, just like I will if I'm going hunting with this tripod. So I was really impressed. I was making repeat hits, pretty much on demand, making hits out there using the SM86 clamp as well. Now that Sunwayfoto is getting into shooting gear, they're really dominating. They're producing a lot of things that outdoors enthusiasts are going to want to get into, and everything I'm shooting off of there is, in fact, a Sunwayfoto product. One thing that I discovered in shooting tripods, I've been trying a handful now, is that the 36mm thickness on those legs really does make a difference. Now, I didn't realize that at first. I've messed around with a handful of tripods, some really weak ones, and then of course this one. This one's really the maximum tripod for me. It's the strongest that I've owned, it's the strongest that I've tried. Those 36mm legs are very, very high quality. It's a good carbon fiber tripod. And I think the strength of both the carbon fiber and then the way that the legs lock up on those twist lock features, it just feels like a very rigid, strong tripod, but it also absorbs some of the vibration and recoil. I can tell that it just feels stronger, more trustworthy. And I'm standing in a pretty typical position right here, and it's impressive that it makes it up to my shoulder, that it's so tall. But in that position, you might not notice it as much as when you start to get it down a little bit lower and you start to extend those legs out, maybe shooting in some somewhat untraditional patterns or positions. When you start to spread those legs out, the thicker legs do support the rifles better. And I'm shooting heavy rifles again. These are sometimes 14 to 18 pound rifles. The Savage right here, the way that I'm shooting, it's definitely transferring some vibration more so to the ground and to the tripod itself, and it's taking some of that brunt off of me, and so I can just stay focused and stay in the glass during the recoil process. I think the carbon fiber itself does eliminate some of the vibration, which is really, really cool, and it's a kind of an unforeseen benefit. I didn't know about that, but I can tell it's absorbing some of that vibration, and I'm just able to stay in the glass longer. Some things I appreciate about this tripod very much so would be the weight. At under 5 pounds, it's under 5 pounds, this thing can go pretty much anywhere, even places I normally wouldn't bring a full-size tripod. At 4.6 pounds, that's really light enough that I can justify bringing it with anywhere I can fit it in. And when it comes to bags, you're seeing it on my bigger rucksack right here in this part of the video, but actually it's only 20.5 inches in the retracted length, and if I take the ball head off, it actually fits in a lot of hiking style backpacks. It'd be easy to carry. It does come with its own carry bag, and sometimes I just attach that to a rucksack, or I throw it inside of a bigger rucksack depending on how much gear I'm bringing out. and that really does the trick for me. The fact that it is so lightweight, all right, it's carbon fiber, and then it's so strong, and it is very weather resistant. I don't mind having this out in some light elements, not at all. The twisters, the thing that's really cool about them, it does keep out the sand, 100% true. I shoot in some sandy areas, and it gets laid down in some sandy areas, and it keeps the sand out. I don't feel any grit in there whatsoever. It keeps the dust out because it's got some seals in there as well. And I think it keeps, a light amount of rain out as well. And if you're using something for hunting or competition, it's probably going to get out in the elements. I mean, it's Minnesota, that's where I'm at, and there's going to be snow, and there's going to be snow all over this thing. The snow is going to melt and turn to ice, and it's nice to have twisters because it does keep the elements out of the tripod. Not to mention, it's carbon fiber, so it's a little tougher. And I'm not concerned about this one getting wet or even soaked for that matter. Usually the things on top of the tripod are the things I want to keep dry, but the tripod itself seems very high quality. I feel like all the components are something that can really be out in the elements or be used hard and tough. With a weight rating of 55 pounds, with 5 sections to those legs, with those twisters, there's so much about this that makes it versatile for camera work, for rifle work, for hunting, competition use. It's a very rugged piece of gear, and this is the kind of tripod you would really buy once for a lifetime. I don't plan on ever trying to replace this because I don't know what I would even replace it with. It does everything that I need a tripod to do, and it is my ultimate tripod. These can be had for under $700 right now. Now, if you're on Amazon or B&H Photo and you're looking at this and it's just still a little bit above your budget, I understand that actually. I can sympathize with you because when I was new to tripods, I didn't know how competitive Sunwayfoto was on the market. Their prices are actually really good for what you're getting. This is a loaded package. What you're getting inside that bag, extra feet, the spike feet, the rubber feet, you're getting a bubble level on the tripod. It has 36mm legs. They are carbon fiber with 5 leg sections. There's 3 positions you can spread them out to with different degrees. It's twist lock legs, which they're pretty much weather resistant to a high degree. That's something that you should not overlook. It's very convenient, and I actually do care about that now. I didn't know I would. 4.6 pounds is extremely lightweight. It condenses down to 20.5 inches, which fits in a lot of backpacks really, really well. It's incredibly small considering it can go all the way up to 63 inches tall. This is a do anything and everything tripod, so it's going to cover so many bases. It's going to be extremely useful. You'll be surprised at how much you value having a high quality tripod once you own one, and just how versatile it is. It just comes with me everywhere I go. I actually leave it in my vehicle because it comes up so often that I found a use for it. Go ahead and check them out on Amazon right now. Ooh, that was a bad round. That one was way low. It's really not that impressive because the rifle will do it pretty much every time, but it is fun. And shooting off a tripod, even with a 22, there's a little bit of vibration, there's a little bit of movement. It's a little trickier than people probably think it is. Really happy with this tripod. Really, really happy.